We got something here I see the other day, but I lacked the time to actually go through and research what was going on. This is related to something most of you probably haven't heard of, and that is, as this BBC News article reports here, there are plans for a new mosque that have been submitted to Westminster Council for them to convert a disused part of London's Trocadero building in Piccadilly Circus into an underground mosque and community centre, which is wrong for a whole host of reasons, as I'm sure you are aware. The BBC article continues though, a mosque for up to 1,000 worshippers could be built inside the Trocadero building at London's Piccadilly Circus. Well, from my scouring through the application for planning permission for this mosque, it actually turns out that it's not a 1,000 worshipper mosque, it is actually a 1,000 square metre building that is on the planning application. As far as I can tell, looking through the planning application which is on the screen now, it appears to state that the building will have a prayer capacity of up to 650 in the prayer hall, which you can see here. The main community hall and prayer space will be 428 metres squared, allowing for approximately 650 worshippers when used for Friday prayers. Now, obviously, them claiming that there will be 650 at maximum could obviously be wrong. We don't know whether they will try and stuff more in there or whether there are other places. There are 53 supporting documents that I did my best to scour through, and as far as I can see, 650 people is the number put down on the planning application. The only reference, like I said, to 1,000 was actually the fact that it's a 1,000 square metre building. But to be honest with you, none of that really matters. It shouldn't be happening in the first place. Developers have submitted plans to Westminster Council to convert part of the former basement cinema into a community centre and event space. The West End landmark has been derelict since 2006. The education charity for British Muslims is owned by Asif Aziz, who set up property giant Criterion Capital and, in 2005, brought the London Trocadero and Piccadilly Hotel for $225 million. The Trocadero was originally built as a restaurant in 1896 and turned into an exhibition centre and entertainment space in the 1980s. I am fully aware of this, as I used to go there with my cousins when I was a kid. It obviously has gone down the hill a lot now, but they could have found a much better use for it than obviously putting a mosque there. I would say the same about any religious building at the end of the day. It really doesn't fit in with the area at all. You have to remember that Piccadilly Circus is located on the southern edge of Soho, which, as most of you will probably be aware, is London's gay nightlife hotspot. So, at complete odds with the Muslim religion and obviously a mosque. Forgetting everything else for a moment, this I can see ending in some serious trouble in the Piccadilly Circus area. Even though it is claimed it will close at 7 PM, London's nightlife often starts well before then. Can you imagine what happens when gay nightlife revelers come across a group of devout Muslims who might not like their life choices? This just seems like a really stupid idea to me, forgetting of course the fact that it shouldn't be happening in the first place. But even if Westminster Council wanted to be woke and try and do their little inclusivity thing, they have to understand the danger that they would be putting people in by allowing this to happen and go ahead exactly where it's located. Now obviously, yesterday The Guardian picked up on this because it has sparked some outrage, and rightly so, with people heading to Westminster Council's website to put down their objections to this planning application, which of course you can do if you want to. I will link it in the video description. Now obviously put down a sensible comment, but that goes without saying. A plan to convert part of the famous Trocadero building in Piccadilly Circus in London into a mosque has sparked objections from people who say a place of worship in an area noted for its bars and nightlife is inappropriate, which is what I just said. We already know who's doing it and that it's owned by him. According to the foundation, the mosque proposal would serve the Muslim community who live and work in the West End and provide community space to those of all faiths and none. Which, let me tell you, I can't really see much uptake from other faiths or those of no faith. I could hardly ever see myself walking into a mosque or, for that matter, a church just because I wanted to go and chill out. It's never going to happen. That is just their attempt to make it look like it is not segregated off for the Muslim community, which we know it will be. The basement of the Chocodero has been empty since 2005. I think you'll find it's actually been empty since 2006. It added the prayer space would be open on weekdays between 11 AM and 7 PM and would be likely to attract fewer than 100 people except for Friday prayers. Well, I looked at the planning application and it actually suggested there is about a 300 to 400 overlap of people in local mosques. So I can't see how it would be 100 people every day. I would expect it's going to be at least 400 to 500 every day, taking the overflow from other local mosques that are within a few miles of this one, which once again should say this one is really not needed. There are already plenty of them around there by the looks of it from their planning application, so this is really not needed and has to be put in one of the most stupid places I have ever known. And once again, they're pushing along with the near-capacity attendance of 1,000. Well, according to the planning application, the capacity attendance of the prayer hall is actually 650. So, from my reading, that is actually wrong. It's a 1,000 square metre building, though it could well turn out to be right, because if 1,000 people turned up, they may well let them in. We don't actually know, and it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't be allowed to go on. We don't care why they claim the space is needed in the West End. Many of those objecting to the plan have described the proposal as a mega mosque. Well, it's certainly not that. There's already a bigger one a couple of miles away. I'll tell you what it is though, a mega clusterfuck, for multiple reasons, especially the one I said earlier about the gay community in the area. Social media has been used to encourage people to lodge objections as part of Westminster Council's consultation progress. A video posted on Friday by the iconoclast, an anonymous white nationalist vlogger, the fucking Guardian, they absolutely love it, don't they? Urging people to oppose the plan because of the danger it posed to the native people of this country, triggered a surge in objections to Westminster Council. Well, what do you expect? Members of the Muslim community have not exactly treated the people of this country with any level of respect. Take a look at the grooming gang situation, just for an example. One comment posted on Westminster Council's website by a concerned Londoner and English citizen said a mosque was totally incongruous with the nature of the area, which had remained a site of culture and entertainment throughout our history. There are no other places of worship in the area, and imposing a mosque would change the character of this area beyond recognition, which is a perfectly valid point, but if you're the Guardian, it makes you a racist bigot. Another said, I think it's a travesty that we should sacrifice a building that was built before our time in such grand detail to Islam, which is not the religion of this country. The building wasn't designed for religion at all, so in my opinion, it shouldn't be taken by any religion. Comments like that really don't help to get it stopped, they just fuel dickheads like the idiot who wrote this article. A number of objectors said the presence of large numbers of Muslims in the area may make LGBT people living and socialising in nearby Soho uncomfortable, and that a mosque would change the culture of the area. Which is something I've already said, and all you really need to point out, because you would be using snivelling shitweasels like the Guardian's woke leftist culture against them, you know, the inclusivity of the LGBT community, which this would trample all over in the Piccadilly Circus area. It continues, there has also been support for the plan. Imagine my shock, it's fucking London. And there they just go on about people who wants to use it. We really don't care about that. As I've said, it shouldn't be allowed to continue. It's just nonsensical. Not only because of its location and, as I said, the people who frequent the area, but just because there should be no religious buildings in that part of London, full stop. And let's be honest, if you ask me, there are already far too many mosques in this country. So like I said guys, if you oppose this, which I'm sure most of you do, you can let it be known. But as I've said, use common sense. Don't go on there just spouting some nonsense because you give snivelling shitweasels like Harriet Sherwood here the opportunity to come up, talk a load of shit and instantly reject your opinion because they'll be calling you a racist bigot. Though, last I checked, you can't be racist to a religion. Though we are in 2020, anything is possible. But on that note guys, I am going to end the video there. Now before I go, I've started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you would like to come and join me for a live stream to chat in real time, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description below and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now as always, before I go, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot, and I will see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.